The new lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe has the internet ablaze because this might be the suit that undresses more than we could have imagined. Tony Busby has announced he's filing a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe on behalf of Jane Doe. If you've been following celebrity lawsuits, especially in the last year and a half, then you would know that Tony Busby has been a recurring character. He's literally involved in suing literally everyone right and left. A lot of the times his lawsuits are deemed frivolous, especially with Jay-Z, more recently where Tony Busby got himself in a lot of trouble by filing a lawsuit. So boom, Busby decides to drop this wild lawsuit on Facebook of all places. Not a press conference, not even a website, Facebook. He talking about his firm just filed a case for some anonymous woman claiming Shannon Sharpe did something to her multiple times. Last time, supposedly this year, January 2025. Now she won $50 million. Whole thing sounds like a setup. He says the case got threats, manipulation, and all types of wild claims, like bruh saying he was gonna slap and choke her. The lawsuit was filed out in Vegas, where she says it all went down. Then he tries to spin it like this woman's brave for going against someone with money and fame. Nah, this just feels like another Busby stunt to make headlines. Every time he pops up, it's for the same clout-chasing blueprint. Now let me just set this straight. If you've really been through something, the last person you want to hire is Tony Busby. Because as soon as folks hear his name, nobody's taking you seriously anymore. They're going to automatically think this is a money play. Dude's got a track record of pulling wild moves and throwing fraudulent lawsuits at celebrities for decades. He tried it with Jay-Z. After behind the scenes, waited for something big to come up, then boom, dropped a lawsuit. He did the same thing with Deshaun Watson. Waited till he was up for a massive deal, then dropped a wave of legal smoke. And now, Shannon Sharpe just got news that he's going to be making upwards of $100 million from his new podcast deal. And what did Busby do? Filed that lawsuit the very next day. To me, this ain't justice. This is just a page out of his playbook. Shannon didn't even have to say nothing about the $100 million bag. His co-host pretty much let it slip, tweeting like, yeah, we up now. Everybody already knew he was leaving the volume, which is Colin Cowherd's spot. And soon as that wrapped, bro headed for that Joe Rogan type money. And the moment that news hit, Busby in the cut rubbing his hands like Birdman, ready to pop out and try to hold Shannon for ransom. Same play he run every time somebody touching real paper. Now look, I don't trust Busby, and anybody with a single brain cell shouldn't either. At some point, you gotta call the BS for what it is. Now here's what we do know. The chick suing Shannon is somebody he supposedly met at the gym. And no, it's not Michelle from that IG live that he accidentally leaked. It's not her whatsoever. It's a whole different person, and we still don't know her name yet. So boom, this mystery chick, she linked up with Shannon like 2 years back when she was 20. They met at a gym. That's where the whole thing kicked off. Word is they started chopping it up because they was both trying to drop some weight in the same little fitness challenge or whatever. That's how they got cool. Supposedly. Allegedly. However you want to say it. Now she would claim that Shannon pursued her, and when he finally got her, that's when everything changed. So she's saying, yeah, they started messing around and it was mutual at first. But then she claimed bro flipped the switch. Said Shannon got on some weird control freak timing, trying to run every part of her life. Like wanted her posted up at his spot whenever he hit her line. No questions, no excuses. Like he was trying to schedule her whole existence around him. This whole thing got me looking sideways because it's like, bruh, it seems like you're just dealing with somebody who just wanted too much control of your life. And if that's the case, you could have dipped. Like real talk, if you got that creeped out, you could have just not pulled up. But on this channel, we don't victim shame. And I'm not going to act brand new and act like the bag and prestige can't blind anybody, man or woman. But from the outside looking in, it looks like that's exactly what you signed up for. He hit you, you pulled up, cool. Now all of a sudden, a couple years later after the breakup, he's a monster. That just feels like the situation didn't work out for you. And now you're trying to get some get back, which all boils down to at the end of the day, regret, not abuse. So she says they had an argument where he raised his voice and there was a gun in the room. That's it. He didn't touch it, didn't point it, didn't threaten her with it, but now she's saying she was terrified just because it was visible. Come on, that man lives in a mansion, had a break-in this year? You think he ain't gonna have a firearm in the house? That ain't proof of nothing. That's lawyer spin. They're trying to make it sound dangerous without actually saying he did something, so they can't get hit with a defamation or false claims lawsuit later. They want you to assume something happened without saying it directly. Now, the only serious claim, she said she was trying to share her location from her phone, and when he caught her, he grabbed her neck and told her if she did it again, he'd F her up. That's the part that got weight to it if it's true. That's the one thing in the whole case that ain't wrapped in lawyer tricks or vague vibes. Now look, this sounds like straight up he said, she said stuff, but let's just say her side is true, and she dropped her location mid-argument, and Shannon spazzed, kind of makes sense. His house got hit before, he's a public figure, and let's be real, it's LA. He quite possibly could have thought she was setting him up. So if you factor all those things in, he probably just felt like his life was in danger. Shannon ain't grew up in no gated community. He came from that struggle. So when a chick he's arguing with starts dropping the location, nah, I ain't mad at him for reacting how he did. That could have gone left. Now this next part, She say after they both moved out to Nevada in summer 2024, she tried to cut Shannon off. Said she was done after that wild IG live when he was all up on Michelle and accidentally broadcasted it. After that, according to her, she told him it was over, but claims that's when things turned dark. She says the first incident went down in October at her spot. Says he pulled up, and while she was crying, he forced himself on her. Then a few weeks later, in January 2025, she says it happened again. Now here's where it gets real questionable. After that first incident, she still let him come back. Said he promised her birthday and Christmas gifts, so she invited him over again. But instead of gifts, she claimed it happened again, same violent way. That's what she put in her suit. Now look, if this actually happened to her, that is a shame, because I don't believe nothing that comes out of Tony Busby's mouth. Dude moves like a legal lead. Anytime you up, he's gonna try to pop up and cash in. Now with the Shannon Sharpe case, the timeline kinda sus. And also, she says he violated her, but then she's still linking up with him later on to get some gifts. That don't really add up. And let's not ignore the background noise. Folks thinking Shannon had something to do with that Fox Sports lawsuit against Skip. So now this new case feels like payback, either from Fox or just a greedy Tony Busby. But here's the real issue. There's no hard proof. No texts, no receipts, no voice calls, no voice memos, nothing. Just her word. And with Busby's track record, good luck trying to sell that to a jury. Now, ESPN may sit Shannon down for a little bit and pause that $100 million deal. But that's exactly what Tony Busby wants. He targets dudes who are about to get a win, like he's entitled to a piece of it. That's his whole playbook. But if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen to see why this latest interview with Krishan Rock's sister might land her in jail for the rest of her life. And also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but
fuck that little 10. I'm maxed out.